Hi, you're watching TechCrunch TV. My name's Colleen Taylor, and sitting with me is a man who needs really no introduction, Shaquille O'Neal. Thank you for being with us here in Austin at South by Southwest. How's it going?
Having fun. It's like a kid being at Toys R Us. I see all the technology, all the new startup companies, all the gadgets. I'm proud to say that I'm a techie, a geek, and a nerd combined all in one. Proud to say it. Don't matter if you don't like me. So what? I'm a nerd. Can't you see? Short sleeve shirt, tie, slacks. I'm a nerd. What can I say? I'm proud to be a nerd.
It's cool to be a geek nowadays.
Yes, it is. I mean, I've always tried to be at the forefront of whatever's new. Kudos to all the technology people that has made technology dummy-proof very easy. I'm telling, all my people in here, and I think it was in the early 80s when they came out with the big computer, you really had to be smart to know how to work that thing. So one day in class, I worked it, I failed, I got embarrassed, so I was actually scared of technology. And then somebody showed me the mousey and the clicky and the Google and the Bing, so now I'm a technology. I don't want to use the word expert lightly, but I like to think of myself as a technology expert.
And you're someone who's putting your money where your mouth is. I know you're on the startup advisory board of a startup called Tout, which we all know is video clips, and you are taking pitches. You've opened up the floodgates to take pitches for startups that want you as an investor through Tout. Can you tell me a bit about that? What have you been seeing so far?
Well, me and the people from Tout, Michael Downing, a good friend of mine, also the CEO, came up with the idea of Pitch Shaq because, what a lot of people don't realize, there's a lot of technology companies here that are already out, they're already up and running, but may not have the muscle or the capital that they need. So we told them to take 15 seconds on Tout, pitch us the idea. We're going to announce the winner tomorrow at 12:30. But we've already had over 100 great ideas, and I was walking through the convention center here, and we met a lot of people. So there's a lot of companies out there, and it's just my way of saying thank you. I've been fortunate enough to know a lot of the hedge fund homeboys. That's what I call them, the hedge fund homeboys. So if I could help them and help somebody else, it'd be a good thing.
Now, do you have any do's and don'ts if someone wants to pitch you and get you involved or get your attention for their startup?
My only do for myself is not to always act like I know everything. My favorite quote was by General D. Eisenhower: "Smartest leaders are the ones smart enough to hire people smarter than them." Mm-hmm. So I got a techie, geeky, nerdy board, and we go at it. So, I've been humble and fortunate enough to meet and see a lot of people, but it would be ludicrous for me to sit up here and act like I know everything. I don't know everything, but I do know that simplicity has always been a big winner. If you don't believe me, just think about it. Twitter. What's so big about Twitter? You just type and tell people what you do. What's so big about Facebook and Instagram? All you're doing is taking pictures. What's so big about Tout? All we're doing is visually saying what we're doing. So it's the simpler the better. So the people that come in with the simple things and the things that are trying to help and inspire people, that's what we're going to be looking at. But I will never sit like I know it all, like I'm an expert. I'm really big on partnerships, and I got great partners.
And I think you've kind of had such a varied career. You've done things in sports, but also music and entertainment and technology. A lot of people feel like they just have to focus on one thing 100% of the time. Do you have any advice for people looking to kind of branch out of their comfort zone?
You have to value partnerships. Like I've always been a basketball player. I've always played basketball. I could probably say I'm a master of basketball. So now when I wanted to become a businessman, I had to go through the do's and don'ts of business. But, to get respect as a businessman, I was like, let me go ahead and get this master's in business administration so they know and understand what I'm talking about. I've always considered myself a leader. So, my thought process was, let me get this doctorate in leadership so people know and understand my thought process on how I do things. But I've always been smart enough to have people better than me on my team. For example, what's the name of this? TechCrunch. So if I'm going to start a magazine, called TechCrunch, best believe I'm going to have the techiest publisher, I'm going to have the techiest camera guys, I'm going to have the techiest interviewers working for me rather than me trying to do everything by myself. So you have to, value, partnerships. For example, if I want to be the best sheriff in Austin, Texas, I got to get the best police officers. I can't be the best without having the best team. So I've always valued partnerships, and I always had people better than me and smarter than me around me, so they can motivate me, so they can help me. And just by the grace of God, I've always been a humble people manager, so I know how to manage people. But like, if you work for me, I probably wouldn't mess with you about none of the articles that you write, because obviously you know what you're doing. Because I would do a lot of due diligence to find out who you are, and everybody would say you're the best or you're higher. But I would never micromanage you, because if I had to micromanage you, then in reality I don't need you. I'd be doing it myself. But since I'm not doing it myself, you got to have great partners. That's always been my secret, and it's been working.
Well, one last question here. You said you've received, kind of hundreds of pitches as you've been here. Is there anything that you haven't had someone pitch to you yet that is sort of your holy grail or your dream application or dream gadget that you would just love to see at some time in the future?
Mental text.
Oh, so you don't have to type?
No, you just look at the phone and you think about it, and it shows up. And I know it sounds far-fetched, but what's crazy about technology? A lot of the stuff I think I made up myself. I can remember in the early '70s riding around one of my stupid relatives, and they don't know where they're going. And then you watch Knight Rider, and you see the car talking. I swear I can remember laying in my bed and be like, I wish somebody in the car would talk to you and can tell you how to get to where you go, so you don't have to ride with these crazy people. And it's happened. So I would like to see where you look at the phone. Just think about that. So mental text, you can look at your phone for a second, mentally transport it, it gets there, and that'll cut down on accidents. Right. It'll cut down on people. So if I see that, I'm definitely investing. Mental text. And I could text you like I love you. I just go, I look at my phone, I love you. I love your article. It'll just be right there. Mental text, that's what I'm looking for.
Someone please make that app so I can get an I love you text from Shaq. Well, Shaquille O'Neal, thank you for taking the time to talk to us.